I think that's a some sound hit to hit her on. But Donald Trump, insert any generic Republican, insert any generic Democrat, and the Republican does face a little bit more of a daunting electoral map to win. And my concern for Donald Trump right now is if you are down in a state like Arizona, he needs to not only flip states that Romney lost in 2012 like Ohio, but he also has to hang on to those more solidly Republican states. So, we need to look at those states as well, like Arizona, see what that looks like in the next couple of weeks here, because there just isn't a lot of time left.
And something that Julie was pointing out just moments ago as well. Well, House Republicans are ramping up pressure on the FBI to get more information about quid pro quo allegations involving Patrick Kennedy, a top official at the State Department, and his efforts to downgrade the classification of some of Hillary Clinton's email. Chairman of House Oversight Committee J.Chauffetz fired off a letter to FBI Director James Comey to turn over any related documents. The date, October 27th, that's the deadline, ahead of several hearings that he has planned. All this as the chair of the House Judiciary, Bob Goodlatte, is calling on the Attorney General Loretta Lynch to investigate whether Kennedy, who was part of Hillary Clinton's inner circle at State, committed a crime.
I'm shocked that J.Chauffetz would pick that date and not a date after November 8th. I wonder why that could be. I mean, look, Personally, he
Wait. But this is about Hillary Clinton and reclassifying.
This is important information. I understand that, but what I'm saying to you right now is it's not like J.Chauffetz hasn't been investigating every aspect of the
He was never handed by the FBI about this very topic.
This very topic, of course not. Look, J.Chauffetz, if the House remains in Republican hands, is going to continue all of these investigations throughout the Clinton presidency. We all know why, and I have to say again, and I've said this before, when you have investigation after investigation after investigation, what it results in is fatigue by people who should be paying attention to
more documents leaked by WikiLeaks.
Right, and here's the thing. I mean, and this is what a lot of people forget about Congress and forget about the House. It is supposed to be an investigative body. So Republicans in the House are actually doing their job by investigating, getting to the bottom of this. And if you have a State Department official, which is what the reports at least allege, trying to engage in a quid pro quo with the FBI, especially given all the other information that has surfaced. And as I mentioned earlier on the show, the fact that we have the nation's top law enforcement agent, Loretta Lynch, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, meeting with Bill Clinton during an ongoing investigation. This is absolutely worthy of an investigation, and they're just doing their jobs.
I want to ask the sheriff, who's taken part in many ongoing investigations. It's your job, I would imagine, to get your opinion on all of this.
Well, it's part of the Congress Oversight Committee. Oversight responsibility. We all get that. But I'll be honest about this. This is political posturing. We saw the thing during Benghazi. I'm not saying that he shouldn't do this. I'm not saying there's nothing there, because I think this stinks of bribery. The U.S. Department of Justice, I believe that corruption has infected that agency. You cannot call on the DOJ to investigate the FBI. I mean, you can.
I also have the same Democrats, though, who spent tens of millions of dollars investigating our own CIA with waterboarding and then spending all this money, all this time, all these years on that investigation, who are now crying foul because Republicans want to look into the wrongdoings and the misgivings.
I try to be clear about something. I don't know how anybody can allege that there's corruption at the Justice Department. Are you basing that on the fact that Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton? That was a huge mistake, but there was no evidence that any corrupt action was taken as a result.
Words doesn't matter. What about the risk that there could have been?
Look, here's
Sandra, you could have a comment coming to destroy the studio right now. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. I mean, you're making all sorts of allegations that are just not accurate.
Didn't meet on a tarmac with another comment.
It could have. I don't know. I mean, that's what you're basically saying. There's no evidence whatsoever that it happened.
You can't. One instance is too many. You can't take a drop of rat poison, drop it into a gallon of water, and say, well, it's just one drop, don't worry about it. It taints the whole.
What evidence do you have that there was any corrupt evidence?
Well, she engaged, I'm going to go back to Eric Holder, but she engaged in that act of meeting the husband of a subject, under investigation. That she spent 3 to 4 days denying there was any impropriety. Oh, we just talked about his grandchildren. The political pressure got so hot she had to come out and finally admit that was improper. There should have been an investigation into that.
And the DOJ feeding information to the Clinton campaign as well, the deletion of tens of thousands of emails using software specifically designed so forensic evidence can recover it, the destruction of evidence with cameras of phones, the missing iPad.
Was the Republican DOJ under George Bush investigating when Republicans in the White House destroyed or used use an RNC server and destroy tons of emails on their way out. Of course not, because you don't want to look at your own thing.
Worthy of an investigation.
I'm saying go ahead and investigate it. All I'm saying is that Jason Chauffetz has investigated repeatedly so many things that people, real voters, are starting to tune him out.
So he should stop doing his job for political reasons.
He should do whatever he wants to do. I'm saying this is a politically dumb move on his part to do this over and over. Good for him. Good for him.
Should be doing that.
You know who loves us? The base loves us, and Jason Chauffetz is fighting top of the base.
Well, Americans who want answers might also love it.
Apparently not.
Like any other investigation, I'm sure you reach a point where it's exhaustive and exhausting, but you don't give up on finding the facts.
But this leads people, the American public, to look at what goes on in Washington, D.C. and say, you know what, this business as usual, this status quo, I'm tired of this stuff. All right, it is the back and forth. I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Republicans, when they're in charge, they do it. Democrats, when they're in charge, they do it. This is what the American people are tired of.
Agreed.
All the political posturing.
Agreed.
All right, we'll move on. Hillary Clinton meeting with Black Lives Matter's activists today as Donald Trump points the finger at Democrats for the crime surge in inner cities. We just mentioned it. Now we're going to go deeper. More than 600 people murdered so far this year in Chicago alone, the president's former home city. So who or what is to blame? Sheriff Clark weighs in next.